Have you ever had a friend who felt like they were made just for you? Someone who fit so perfectly into your life that everything seemed easy, warm, and safe, like the world itself had stitched you together on purpose? Deep in a sun-dappled forest, where the leaves whispered to the wind and mushrooms curved like tiny umbrellas along mossy paths, there was a little wooden cottage where 3 such friends lived. They were an unusual trio: a quick little mouse with eyes as bright as polished buttons, a lively bird whose feathers shimmered gold in the sunlight, and, yes, it's true, a plump, rosy-cheeked sausage with a cheery grin. They may have seemed mismatched to anyone passing by, but to them, their home was perfect. The bird's wings carried him each morning into the forest to gather wood for the fire. The mouse bustled about the kitchen, fetching water from the well, setting the table just so, and making sure the fire crackled warmly. And the sausage, oh, the sausage was the master of the stove. He had a most peculiar and wonderful way of cooking. Just before the meal was ready, he would leap right into the bubbling broth and roll himself through it, blending all the flavors into a rich, savory harmony. Every evening, the 3 of them would sit together at their little wooden table, steam rising from their bowls, the scent of herbs and warmth filling the air. They would eat until they were full and happy, then curl up by the fire, the flickering light painting their faces with gold as they drifted into dreams beneath patchwork quilts stitched with stars. Life was steady. Life was good. Life was love. But as the forest knows, even the stillest pond can ripple. One morning, while the bird was out gathering twigs and kindling, he paused to rest on a high branch. Another bird, sleek and sharp-eyed, swooped down beside him. "All this work," the stranger said, tilting his head, "while your friends sit at home? You're the one out here in the sun and the wind while they just cook and carry water? Doesn't sound fair to me." The bird ruffled his feathers. "But we each do what we're best at. We're happy." "Happy?" The stranger laughed. "Sounds more like you're being taken advantage of." And with that, he flew away, leaving his words to echo in the bird's mind. By the time the bird returned home, the warmth he usually carried in his chest felt strangely thin. He dropped the wood beside the door and declared, "We're changing everything. Tomorrow I'll fetch the water, the mouse will cook, and the sausage can gather the wood." The mouse and the sausage looked at each other in surprise. "But," began the mouse, "we all have our own jobs for a reason." The bird shook his head. "No, we'll try it my way." And so, the next morning, the sausage set off toward the forest with a bounce in his step, determined to do his part. The bird and the mouse stayed behind, each going about their new duties, but as the minutes became hours, the sausage did not return. Worried, the bird took to the sky, weaving between treetops in search of him. At last, he spotted a dog lounging in the shade, his tail swishing lazily, his belly round and full. The bird's heart thudded as he swooped closer. "Have you seen my friend? A plump little sausage, cheerful, rosy." The dog licked his lips and gave a slow grin. "Ah, yes. Found suspicious markings on that one. Couldn't risk it. Had to eat him. Nothing personal." The bird's wings faltered. He flew home heavy with grief, his voice breaking as he told the mouse what had happened. The little cottage felt bigger, emptier that night. The fire seemed smaller, but the mouse said softly, "We'll manage. We have to." The next evening, it was the mouse who took over the cooking. She fetched the water, lit the fire, and stirred the pot. But as the broth simmered, she remembered the sausage's special trick, how he would swirl through the soup, blending the flavors into magic. Determined to honor him, she climbed onto the spoon and eased herself in. The heat was sharper than she had imagined. The steam closed around her. With a startled squeak and a sudden slip, she disappeared beneath the bubbling surface. When the bird returned, the house was silent. The pot simmered quietly, but the chair where the mouse always sat was empty. He called her name, his voice catching, but there was no answer. Panic gripped him. In his rush to find water for the fire, he dropped the wood at his feet. The flames leapt higher. He seized the bucket and flew toward the well, but as he tried to lower it, the rope twisted, tangled around his wing. The bucket slipped, and with it, so did he, tumbling into the dark, deep water. The little cottage stood alone now, smoke curling from the chimney into the quiet sky. Inside, the table was set for 3, but no one would ever sit there again. And so the forest returned to stillness. The sun still danced on the leaves, the mushrooms still lined the mossy paths, but the warmth of that tiny home was gone. Friendship, like a home, is built on shared care. Every role, big or small, easy or hard, is a stitch in the quilt of love that keeps us warm. When we stop valuing each other's gifts, when we forget that harmony is made of differences, the threads can loosen, and sometimes they unravel completely. Cherish your friends, for you never know which small kindness holds the whole home together. If this tale touched your heart, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe for more magical stories. And tell me, what is one special thing a friend does for you that you couldn't imagine living without?